You know when you take a bite of something and you're like, oh yeah, that's what I've been craving all week? Like I had no idea that I was craving that thing. And then you make that thing, you're like, that was a thing. Let me show you a thing. This one does not have a ton of moving parts, but we are going to start with our tomatoes because they do take the longest. Now I have a bunch of grape, cherry tomatoes, whatever kind of tomatoes you like. You could even use big beefsteak tomatoes or yellow tomatoes or green tomatoes. Don't do green tomatoes. You can use any tomatoes you want except for green tomatoes. Get them on a sheet tray. Like, we're not getting complicated. I'm just going to tell you everything that's going to go in here. Tomatoes, garlic, leeks, dried oregano, salt, pepper, garlic, olive oil, like whatever seasoning you want. I'm using Tuscan Herb today. Essentially what we're doing is we're using the Blackstone pellet combo. We're going to smoke roast our tomatoes. Smoke roasting is like roasting with smoke. Was that self-explanatory, Andy?
You know. It was.
I'm sorry.
No, it's good.
I'm glad you're here.
Sometimes I need it.
I just like saying smoke roast.
I like it.
I'm gonna smoke roast these tomatoes at 375 for about 20 to 30 minutes. We don't want them to char, but we do want them to get soft enough to mash and that garlic to get super delicious. I say this often, I say use whatever you'd like, and it's absolutely true. I don't want you guys watching these videos just looking for a specific step-by-step recipe. I'd rather you look for techniques to say, oh, I want to try it like that, or I want to add this piece with this piece. Today I'm using chicken thighs, skin on, but no bone, but you could use bone in if you want. You wouldn't be able to slice it later, but you could still do it. Or you could use boneless, skinless, or you could use steak, or you could do fish. Times change a little bit, but technique doesn't. Very simple on the seasoning, just a bit of oil and whatever seasoning you like. Today I've got S.P.G and a bit of Tuscan Herb. Toss that all around. I kind of like doing in a bowl because then like all the leftover seasonings get mixed in later. I'm at medium heat. Don't go too high because these do need to cook for a bit, and we want that skin to get extra gorgeous and crispy, like crunchy, crispy skin. These are gonna go for a solid 5 minutes or so per side, maybe longer. Cook them until they're all the way done. No one likes chicken tartare. No, ugh. Yeah, don't do that. Make sure they're fully cooked. Flip them a few times if you'd like. Just make sure they're crispy, golden, and fully cooked. Then we can pull them off to let them rest. Now we have all that gorgeous chicken fat from the chicken skin. I'm gonna take my asparagus and cook it right in all of that seasoning and chicken fat. So we don't even need any additional seasoning here. Let them cook for a bit. We do want it to be al dente. That means just a little bit of a crunch. We do not want them to be soft. So 3-4 minutes, give them a toss, and then separate them into 2 individual piles. This will be for 2 servings. And then we're gonna basically take some cheese, some mozzarella, like thick sliced mozzarella cheese, put it right over the top of that pile. You can already see this thing starting to come together because it's beautiful. Let's do some fresh basil. Remember, this is like a caprese, right? So we need basil, mozzarella, balsamic, and tomatoes. We'll get to those in just a second. Dome it, a bit of water, and let it melt. 30 seconds here, 60 seconds tops, and like the majesty. You could honestly just serve this, and I think your guests would be happy, but serve it with all the other stuff too, because it's really good. While that's cooking, go ahead and slice the chicken nice and thin, not full bite-sized pieces, but enough so that the serving looks pretty later, and we can kind of stagger them out, kind of shape them to the plate a little bit. Let's pull those tomatoes. They're stunning, they're gorgeous, they're bubbly. Any other adjectives I can use?
It just smells
just
so
the
good.
aromas, like your neighbors will be knocking on the door, like, hey, what's for dinner? I like to take a fork and just smash this around. I want this to be more like a chutney, like a mash, than just whole tomatoes. So smash around. You can also see when you smash that garlic, because it roasted, it's soft. So it mashes in with the tomatoes. Now this is crazy versatile. Use this on all kinds of stuff, like as is, on toast, on garlic bread, unbelievable. But for now, we're gonna reserve this until we're done and ready to plate. Let's put the asparagus, the cheesy, delicious asparagus down in the middle of our plate. And then, wanna do chicken first, Andy? Let's put the chicken right over the top. You can start to see it's like coming together. It's looking really, really beautiful. Chefy, is that what you used to say? Chefy. Then we can take that tomato mash right over the top. Try to leave some of the juice in the pan. We just want the tomatoes and the garlic and the leeks. Mohawk it right down the center, and then let's hit it with a bit of balsamic, right? A caprese, you gotta have some balsamic, some mozzarella, some mutts, and some tomatoes. Like, this is glorious. This is all the glory. A bit of Grana Padano at the end. Make it look pretty. Make it look gorgeous. Serve your friends, and go, hey guy, how'd you make that? And you're like, oh, I watched Chef Nate do it, and it looked really easy. So like, please make this. Let's get into it. I can't talk anymore. I gotta take a bite. Oh, you gotta get a little bit. of the chicken. You gotta get some tomatoes, the cheese, some of the asparagus. Ethan, can you see that glory?
Yeah.
Good Lord. Good night. What does Hussey say? Shut the front door. That was grazie. Grazie. So good. So good. So here's the thing. You've all made every single element of this before, right? Maybe you've never put it together quite this way. So sometimes being impressive just means good technique and plating it nice. Plating it like you knew what you're doing. Plating it like you took the extra step just to make it beautiful. So fun. And those tomatoes, by the way, crazy, delicious, and versatile. And that chicken, so juicy. Chicken thighs all the way. Way more forgiving. Thank you so much for hanging out. This is Cook, Eat, Repeat. We would like to help you become a cook, or a better cook. One recipe at a time. I'm your host, Chef Nathan Lippy, and I'll see all of you in our next episode.